And we'll hit the branding here. All right. Here we go. You ready?
Roger.
Yep. Cue the music.
That time again, folks.
Yep. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, happy post-Labor Day, because you deserve a day off. We have a Labor Day in this country. You know that, Chris? It was yesterday.
Right. Right. And for Labor Day, a lot of back to school for a lot of people.
Yes, absolutely. Happy Labor Day. Well, yesterday, happy Labor Day. Back to school week for some of you folks. And welcome to none other than your favorite podcast / live show, Car Motivators Live. I'm your host, Chas Kelly, Director of Marketing for Car Motivators. With me once again, my main man. He goes by the name of Chris Spalding. We like to call him the Variable Ops Guru. Chris, how you doing, sir?
That's a big word to live up to, my friend. That's a big word, but I'm doing great, guys. How about yourself?
Well, you know, Sean, we can't always capture Sean in the bottle, right? So we have to give it somewhere, right? So it's great to hear, man. I know you've been doing a lot of, coaching. So
yes.
I know you got a lot of stuff on your plate. So we're going to make this real short and sweet. So welcome to Car Motivators Live. Today's questions is actually kind of fun because Chris and I both resonate with this topic as it refers to salespeople marketing, right? And so today we've got a question. We had a question that was actually, it wasn't aired on LinkedIn. It was actually asked by one of our clients, one of the salespeople that we work with, just in passing. And that question is, what can a salesperson do to create more referral business through branding, content, and personal marketing? And I thought that was a really, really great question because, we've done a lot of empowering, salespeople to pitch themselves and promote themselves. But I don't think we as car motivators have actually addressed that, head on in a video like this or something like that. We've done a lot of work with tier 4 marketing in the past with Sandstone Junior's Automotive Group, where we used to do webinars like this and stuff like that. But it's been a minute since we've talked about it. So this would be a really great refresher for a lot of folks, right? So let's get right into it.
Chad, actually, this is something that comes up quite often in my coaching discussions that I have with clients throughout the country here, this exact question. So yeah, this will be a great conversation for today.
Yeah, so let's dive right in, right? So salespeople, marketing, right? Referral business. What are some of your go-to tricks of the trade per se, Chris? And what is your best advice for the salesperson struggling to market themselves?
Well, the way I'll tee this off is my absolute number one tip I could give anybody right now. And the truth is, just do it now. Don't wait till next week when you think you're prepared to do it. Don't spend 3 months trying to practice what your video should sound like, what should look like, what you should say, because we don't do that here. We just speak from the heart. And the reality is you got to get over your ability to say, okay, I'm nervous. I'm going to do this anyway. And just do it now, because the longer you wait, the more opportunities you potentially miss. So that's number one. Just do it now. It's not
for you folks that watch this. By the way, he's absolutely right. None of this is scripted. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but
we mess up all the time.
Chris and I don't have a big production meeting before we get into Car Motivators Live. We literally go into this kind of blank canvas. So, I mean, I can't echo that enough. He's absolutely right. You just can't be afraid to get in front of a camera and start talking, and especially if it's something that you're passionate about, right? So anyway, continue, Chris. I just thought that was funny.
Something else I think that really helps, especially if you have a concern or a fear that, how people are going to judge you or how people are going to see you. It's natural because a lot of people do feel that way. So you can own that for sure.
Sure.
Try to create something of a brand. This is a great tip here, in my opinion. Try to create something of a brand that, first of all, that you like, something that you enjoy. Maybe it's a tagline that goes along with something you like, a hobby. Maybe you can tie it into something you like. Maybe you can make a graphic. Maybe you can find a way to make it something that you enjoy that people will stick in their memory. So the reason I say that, because if you like it, there's a better chance than not that you'll actually take the time to promote it. Because if you have a brand that was thrown on you or someone gave you and you don't really like it, well, you're gonna maybe be a bit embarrassed or self-conscious about how it looks. But if you have one that you are passionate about, you smile whenever you see it, guarantee you'll take action and put that out there to the world.
Hey, yeah, second week in a row, we're mentioning our colleague Reed Richards. His favorite quote on the planet is, "If you build it, you'll own it, and if you own it, you'll act on
Right.
it." And
Mhm.
so, nothing is a better idea than something that you've built on your own and can act on your own, right? No one's going to give you a more customized approach than yourself. Like,
Mhm.
you know what you like, you know what you want, you know the message you're trying to portray. No
That's
one
right.
else can do that for you. So to break that ice and to kind of get over the fear of looking stupid, or maybe the fear of, you know, just it not going anywhere, not really sure what other fears are out there, but any fear that isn't getting on the camera, the best way to combat that is, hey, you know, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And if it does, it does. I'd rather err on the side of it does work,
Mhm.
and if it doesn't, then you can try a different approach. But
That's right.
so I've got something that I used to do as a salesperson in terms of like addressing this particular instance, right? Is obviously you want to utilize your social media feeds, you want to utilize your YouTubes and your reels and your TikToks and all that jazz, right? But it's not necessarily about the just utilizing them. It's about what you put out there, right? And if you're struggling to come up with content that seems compelling, that people want to believe in you as a salesperson, or generate some sort of engagement for you as a salesperson, Chris, I used to have this rule of 4 buckets, and I used to have to be able to put my content in one of the 4 buckets. And if I can't put it in any of the 4 buckets, then I don't
Mhm.
post it. That was my rule, right? And the buckets are as follows, right? A, is it educational? Like, does it teach the prospective client something? B, is there an empathy facet to it, right? Does it tug on the heartstrings? Does it tell a story that they're going to emote to, or they're going to be empathetic towards, right?
Mhm.
C, is there some sort of call to action to get them in the door right away? Is there something going on at the dealership that says, hey, I got to be there right now to take advantage of this? And then the last bucket that I would put things in is contesting, right? What am I giving away for you to come in the door? You know, am I giving you away a bird dog referral? Like, am I giving away $100 for every referred sale? Am I giving away, what I mean? So those are that's the 4 buckets I used to put all of my content in. But even with the 4 buckets, it's all about execution, right? So
Right.
you could have the platform, you can have the buckets or the categories to put your content in, but it's also about execution, right? So what are you doing to engage with your audience, right? How often are you throwing stuff out there for them to, you know, take in? And then when someone finally says, "Hey, man, thanks for doing that," or "Hey, that was a great tidbit. I have a question." How quickly are you responding to that? You know?
That's right. And then to bounce off what you're saying, I love the 4 buckets. By the way, what a great idea. And also, one of the things that's really important these days is we know that the power of the internet to multiply is amazing, and right, and things that opportunities follow attention. So one of the things that we have to do is we have to take advantage of the algorithm. The crazy word, the algorithm. None of us exactly really know how it works, except maybe some high power people up at Google or Facebook or whatever. But know this: the more eyes that see your content, the more eyes will see your content. And it's pretty wild. Some things you can ask, or a simple question like, let's say maybe demoing a vehicle. You got a brand new vehicle and it's maybe black with a red interior. Well, you can turn this thing in selfie mode and you can talk about it and show it off a little bit. But one of the final questions you end is, hey guys, this is one of my favorite colors, but what do you think? Do you own something like this, or would you like to own a color? If you were to get one, what would it look like? And by asking the question, you're going to get them to just start, friends of yours, even at the beginning, they're going to start typing things in there. Every time someone puts something on your post, it's eyes on your post. And again, like I said, the more eyes are on your post, the more eyes will see your post going forward. I think that's something people could use right now immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. And not shifting gears entirely here, but I feel like there's also two really unsung heroes of marketing and branding. Um, and I feel like we talk about them a lot, but we don't really execute them a lot, if that makes sense, right? The number one unsung hero of marketing and engagement for yourself as a salesperson is client testimonials.
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
Like, how
Mhm.
often do you have what? Okay, so as a salesperson, ask yourself, you just had a great sale, you made a great client, you guys are, you're about to send them to the finance box, right? What is stopping you from getting a blurb or a video right there to get them to to record their experience as it's happening, right?
That's right. That's right.
Because when is there ever a more important time to get them as happy as can be about buying a car from you, other than right then and there when they're happy buying a car from you?
That's right.
You know,
And not only that, Chaz, people, consumers in 2024 are dying to have a better than average experience. They really want a true professional to help them make this process that they consider to be not something they want to participate in, but who can make this a better than average experience. And the answer is, why not you? Why not today? Why not now?
you know
If
that's
you can
I'm so
demonstrate.
happy you mentioned that because that kind of segues into my other unsung hero, right? Because like you said, they want to have the clients of today want to have this white glove experience, right? No matter where they go, they want to be treated like royalty and like they matter and like they're an individual and not just another sale, right?
Mhm.
So, what better way to pull someone into that realm and make them feel special other than giving them behind the scenes content? Like, hey, this is what we're doing when you're in the box doing finance, this is what we're doing prepping your vehicle for delivery. You know,
Mhm.
look at our 130-point detail inspection before you lay your hands on the steering wheel, or whatever it may be, you know, having that white glove behind the scenes look is going to create some engagement around the way that, the first thing that's going to happen is comparison. Well, my salesperson didn't do that for me when I bought my Jeep or when I bought my truck, or secondly, it's like, oh wow, they hold themselves to a higher standard than say XYZ does. Maybe I should consider talking to them when I'm going to buy a car next.
That's right.
And
That's
I think the
right.
other thing to consider is that guys and gals out there who are salespeople, you're not okay. Yes, there's going to be a handful that are going to look at your stuff and say, I need to buy a car this weekend. Let's go. You might get a couple of those, but you are not branding and creating content for tomorrow's buyer.
That's
Man,
right.
I feel like that's such a hot take. But let me
Yeah.
be clear, you're not branding yourself for tomorrow's buyer. You are branding yourself for the buyer that's 6 months down the road. You are branding yourself for the guy or the girl who is a year down the road who's eventually going to need a minivan because they have a new one. They're welcoming a newborn into the family.
Mhm. Yep.
Or I just got married and I got to get rid of my quarter life crisis, so now I need a family vehicle. Or I'm just now an empty nester and now I'm buying my dream car.
That's right.
And you may not be pitching them right then and there. But the more that you buy into your branding and create educational content, empathetic content, call to action content, customer testimonials, and showing them behind the scenes of your operation of how you're a good operation to work with and you're a professional and that you have proven yourself as a professional and that you are doing positive engagement with all of your
Mhm.
clientele. 6 months to a year from now, that person that has been consuming your content is going to finally give you a call
Mhm.
and
That's
say,
right.
"Hey, I'm a big fan of your videos," or "I'm a big fan. I follow you on Facebook, and I'm really looking forward. I really need something bigger. I know you guys are a Nissan store. Oh, how many Armadas do you have on the lot? Can we come in and do a test drive?"
Mhm.
And you never know when that call's going to happen, but you have to press forward, like you said earlier. You have to start now and just do it and do it often
That's
so
right.
that
The
the
frequency
guy,
matters. Frequency
right.
matters.
And that's the other thing too, right? We talk about effective frequency, right? I don't know what the actual number is right now, but if I recall, the effective frequency number is around 6 or 7. It takes a human being 6 or 7 times to hear something or see something to finally act on it or say they don't want it or, say that there's something they do want, right? How many emails do you get, Chris, or me? Even I'm guilty of this. How many
Mhm.
emails do you get from a spam email, a business before you decide, all right, I'm unsubscribing?
It happens. And on the flip side of that, how many times have I purchased something from somebody who I didn't have any interest in, but they just kept putting it in front of me, putting it in front of me, and then, well, what is this? I'm curious. Next time I open the email, now there's another offer. Well, you know what? I did have a need for this thing. Next thing you know, because of their frequency, because of their consistency, they made a customer for me.
I'm not gonna
And
lie,
then,
man. A company,
yeah,
a company right now has got me by the neck. Um,
really,
obviously, I'm a coach, a football coach, sports coach on top of being a professional coach, and so I wear sunglasses to practice. Right? There's a new company out there that are making polarized sunglasses for cheaper called Shady Rays, and I have
Mhm.
never heard of these guys before until they started sending me emails and started sending me. I guess whenever I looked at their email, I signed up for a text list or something somewhere along the
Next
way
thing
to
you
get
know,
a discount, see what kind of discount I could get. And they've been
yeah,
dripping me on text messages and emails to the point that I was like, you know what, man? I really need a new set of sunglasses. And you know what? It took them, I've been getting these emails for 3 months, but I've been
yeah,
holding on to them because I was thinking to myself, one day I'm going to need some sunglasses. And when I
right.
do, I still got that coupon to go and buy something. Now,
That's
obviously,
fun.
buy a car, completely different situation. But the point is that it works. And if it can work for a very pointless, mindless purchase, it most certainly is going to work for a very important purchase.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I bring it back to this earlier. Once the opportunity is created, the question is, what will you do with it? Will you be able to provide anybody, whether it's their first car, whether it's their 20th car, can you provide a 5-star luxury experience for them? You know why? Because they deserve it, and they're looking for people like you can send all their friends to, and all their relatives to, and anybody they know that might need to have a good experience. That becomes the way of the future. It's not transactional. The idea is, how can you create a relationship with these people? Referrals are based on relationships. People want to automatically provide their friend, someone they know, like, and trust, with another opportunity to be successful, just because they want to do that. It's
Right.
almost like you don't even have to ask. Yeah, you can ask for sure, but if you do a good enough job, these people are going to want to serve you and support you just because you provided that 5-star opportunity, where others just aren't always doing that these days. So take advantage of that if that is you.
Yeah. And the last thing I'll say about this is don't be afraid to jump off the page, right? What makes you different than the rest? If there's something that sets you apart from the rest, don't be afraid to dive down that rabbit hole and take it to the next level. We've had, you know, I can tell you firsthand working with Sansom Juniors over in New Jersey that I've got a young lady who works in sales over there that part of her whole push is that she takes strictly Hispanic clients.
Mm.
And the reason being is because A, she speaks Spanish, and B, she has Spanish contracts that are written in Spanish. and she
Oh,
uses
wow.
that. She promotes that on her social media. And so whenever Hispanic folks, no matter where they come from or where they're living, they're looking for that kind of experience, Leanne pops up first because she's the
Wow.
Hispanic speaking, Hispanic contract dealing sales guru. And they want to work with her because the Hispanic population feels like that they relate to that, right?
Mm,
And then there's the
awesome.
other flip side of the coin, which is also a guy at Sansone. He was known as Dance Dion.
Mm.
And this dude was, he'd get up and dance on the camera for you and sell you a
Jazz, you've
car.
been knowing to cuddle the rug, haven't you? You like to cuddle the rug on your side time, don't you, Jazz?
What's that?
You like to cuddle a little rug and do some dancing down there, don't you? Every once in a while.
Oh man, I might break a leg literally if I do that.
I would too.
But it's things like that that set these people apart. And if for you salespeople out there, think about your unique value proposition, your unique selling proposition. Like, how can you set yourself apart in your brand? What can you use your style and your brand and your demeanor, your personality? How can you use that to be educational, to offer empathy, to have some sort of call to action to come see you, and more importantly, how can you use your customer testimonials that you've already worked with, these folks who already know what it's like to work with you? How can you utilize that to your advantage and
Mm.
give them a white glove service? All great
Yeah, Chad,
questions, right?
this has been awesome. And I think that with these questions of the week, what's really cool in my thought here is that we can spend a few minutes talking about someone to generate ideas. But I think we should come back and do some longer term shows as well, where we can actually maybe get some engagements with some people as well and teach more of a process that would help people coach people through some stuff directly live. I think we should do some of that because these are great kickoff questions, but we could even keep right now. What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think the future of Car Motivators Live is going to be to actually do things live and take live questions. And whether it's you or I or another coach that sits on the live for an hour and just sits there and answers whatever questions we have to help empower the community. We do this for you guys. We do this because we care about the car business. Trust me, everybody that works with Car Motivators has been a manager, a mid-level to high-level manager that has seen their day in the sun with the car industry or the automotive industry and wants to make it better. So we're here to make it better for you. Hey, once again, like and subscribe. Follow us on LinkedIn, social media. Car Motivators is the page. Sean is the Car Biz Coach on Instagram. You can also visit us at www.carmotivators.com. If you're one of the dealerships out there is looking to finally turn it around, schedule a discovery call with us today. You can have a conversation with us as soon as next week. I think that's going to be it for this Car Motivators Live. Everybody, he's Chris Spalding. I'm Chaz Kelly. Have a wonderful rest of your Labor Day week, and we'll see you again soon.
Appreciate y'all. See you next time.